How's it going, folks? And welcome back. It's episode number 47 of Park 2 Primera. I didn't want to be coming back for an episode at this moment in time. I didn't want to be sat here on the final day of the Champions League group stage with everything on the line. But here we are. We're taking on Lazio. If we win the game, we will finish above Lazio. We will be guaranteed a knockout spot in the Champions League. If we don't win, all world of permutations can happen. We have 4 teams separated by 2 points. Everyone is in it to win it. And a group that looked fiercely competitive on paper, it turns out is quite a competitive group. So the plan for today's episode is to do the game against Lazio, and then we're going to go forward to the start of January, and we're going to have a bit of a mid-season reflection, I think. We're going to have a look at what's happened in the first half of the season, talk about some different tactical ideas given the kind of uncertainty, shall we say, around how I want to approach the team right now. And I think it'll be just a nice little chance to catch up, chat away, talk about some of the players who have performed well in the first half of the year. Maybe we can even talk a little bit about future transfer business. Now, since you were last here, we played 2 games in all competitions, 2 games in La Liga. We were unbeaten in them, not convincing in them. The first was against Atleti, where it finished 0-0. We've had so many 0-0s this year, it's absolutely unreal. Ramadani played well, Galarreta did well, Basia came into the team for this game as well. The centre-back looked very, very good. He held his own, despite the absence of Velez, who needed a little bit of a rest. And well, in the following game, we went one better. We mustered up a win, and if we just have a look at our formation, I've changed it again. This is the shape that I played with Socio, I think 3 years ago in Football Manager, kind of a weird asymmetric 4-3-3. Some would argue that I just don't know what I'm doing at this point, and they might have a point, to be completely honest. So yes, the win against Villarreal was good, and it was done using this. I don't know what to tell you. I keep changing things. I'm very, very uncertain of what to do. Avramides, it's worth noting, in that game did score a brace. So maybe this is how we get Avramides scoring. Maybe the secret is to play him at left inside forward with Mejica stood next to him for emotional support. That was good to see him get a couple of goals. We didn't look as defensively sound as I would like in that game, but I think I'm going to try this again today and just see how it goes. It's worth noting, off the pitch, Pablo Torre is on loan with us to the end of next season now. That's right, the longest loan in football is about to go into its 4th season next year. I feel like that is a nice bit of business for us as far as we're concerned. For a player we've sold for 40 million to now be loaning him back for the 4th successive season bodes quite well. Also means there's not too much in the way of radical planning to replace him going into next season. So anyway, we're going to get into this game against Lazio. In terms of the team, I probably should rotate it more. Velez needs a rest. Zivkovic needs a rest. Galarreta doesn't need a fitness test, but he's not 100%. But I think I'm going to gamble with it. I think I've got to go with the strongest team I can for this game. As a result, we're going to have Owusu in at ball-winner midfielder. Of course, injury disrupted his kind of introduction to the squad. But when we've played him, he's looked okay so far. Feel like we need a slightly larger sample size on his performances. Blanco, since he signed a new contract, hasn't played as well. It's like he secured the bag and then he's given up. But he's going to be with us today in the middle too. The rest of the team looks fairly standard. If you were wondering about Calderon, he is going to be sat on the bench alongside Hardy. Originally, I was going to bring Calderon in for Avramides, and then, Avramides scored 2 in the last game, so now I feel like I have to play him. So going into this game, there is no denying the enormity of the task at hand. A win here, a win at home against Lazio. We're into the knockouts. There's no dramas, there's no issues. A draw here, I don't think is good enough because of the fact that Lazio beat us when we last played them 1-0. You can see here, the group is so close. Basically, for us, we have to win. A draw, and I don't think we can physically finish in the top 3 because of our head-to-head to Liverpool. Of course, we will have one eye on that Liverpool v Bayer game. It's worth noting, if we were to lose and Bayer get a win, they would go above us, which would be suboptimal, as is a chance like that on our goal. Oh my word, Lazio nearly scoring within the first 10 minutes. That would have been a nightmarish start here. They have still got a corner to whip in, and Ramadani called into action yet again. It's not what I want to see early on. Now, last time we played Lazio, we really struggled to get going. So the fact that we're yet to have a shot on target inside the first 20 minutes is ringing alarm bells. But we do have a highlight here. Avramidis hits the woodwork. Martinez's effort is blocked away. Can we get it back into the mixer? We can't quite. Oh, that was an opportunity and a half there, wasn't it? Oh my, we might live to regret that. We've still not had a shot on target, mind you. Half an hour gone in this game. Owusu to whip it near post. It's cleared away, but only as far as Blanco. What can Blanco do? He threads through Martinez, tight angle. It's blocked away by Lazio, and some heroic defending denying us the opening goal here. You can see in the other game, it's 2-1 to Liverpool after 20 minutes. They have played another 13 minutes since, but it's all goals in their game. Meanwhile, over here, it is a cagey affair and a half. As Lazzari's now bringing it forward for them. In fact, Liverpool, they've grabbed a third, which would be a good result for us, just because by a losing means even if we were to draw this game or to lose this game, we would get a spot in the Europa League knockouts. It makes the math of the situation a little clearer. If Liverpool win, we just have to win, and we get a Champions League knockout spot. And, well, we're still waiting for the breakthrough in this game. 36 minutes gone. Avramidis, he's hit the woodwork once. What can the number 7 do? Ghosting inside, gives it to Martinez. Can he score? Yes, he can. Jonathan Martinez, the hometown hero. Maybe this is how we get Avramidis firing. Really, really good to see this goal. Avramidis running inside, but Martinez, when he received it, still had a hell of a lot to do. First touch got it out of his feet. He takes it past one man, slots it into the bottom corner. 35 minutes gone, and we have the breakthrough. And now there's another highlight. Not like this, Football Manager. Not like this. Not immediately. I mean, could we get another? No, not yet. Maybe. We're blocking it. Blanco, Pablo, Mojica on his lonesome, on a yellow card. He's got to be careful as Mojica, as Eddie Salcedo has it here for Lazio. Gives it to Luis Alberto, and now, oh my word, they've just carved us open, and it's Cesarelli, I think that's how you'd say his name, scores the 1-on-1. I mean, did anyone keep count, just counting in their head? How many seconds were we ahead in that game for? I mean, it was nice to have the lead for a short while. I don't know if Ramadani could have done more there. It was a really nice passing move, to be fair, by Lazio. They are playing this kind of, I mean, you can see here this kind of front three, and they all linked up nicely there. At the break, it's going to be 1-1. As things stand, we're not doing good enough here. We would be going out of the Champions League, albeit into the Europa League. We need to step it up in this second half. You can see here, Liverpool winning, how many by? They're winning 3-2, so that game could still change quite drastically, to be fair. Owusu, corner, whipped in. Velez is under it. And his header goes just over the crossbar. What I would say is, we've had a lot of chances in this game, but they're not on target. So in a bid to get us slightly more shots on target, I'm going to lower the passing length and lower the tempo, hoping that we can work the ball a little further up the field more patiently, rather than looking to lump it clear. I'm going to make some changes in this game. I'm going to take Avramidis and play him down the middle, and I'm going to drop Mojica for Calderon. Elsewhere in the team, Pablo Torre has been really disappointing today. So Atakovic, he's going to get some minutes as the advanced playmaker for us. Let's see what he can do. He was meant to be the Pablo Torre replacement. He's not lived up to that billing. Maybe today's the day that he can earn his stripes. 20 minutes left in this game. There comes a point here where I'm going to have to go more attacking, and I think we're at that point now. I'm going to up the tempo but keep the passing on shorter. Rather than low crosses, I want us to whip crosses from deep. In transition, I mean, we've got to get it forward more quickly, haven't we? I think throwing it long is a pretty good shout because Ramadani has the long throw to start counter-attack straight. So maybe we can use that in our favour. Of course, we're going to start to tickle the sliders and slide them all to the right on the pressing front. We need to look hungry to win the ball here. And well, immediately we're going into a highlight. No player roles change, just some instructions ringing in the players' ears. As Zivkovic has it, he tries to pick out his man. Shelton heads it away for them. And well, it's Luis Alberto bringing it forward. 2 men to his right, 1 to his left. Might need to do some defending here. And oh my word, they've hit the woodwork and it's now spun out behind the goal. I mean, this is not ideal, but we have to win it. So I've got to kind of Just ignore any caution that I have and commit men further forward. I've still got one last sub. I mean, we've not got a whole lot of attacking options on the bench, but maybe the man to bring on is Hardy. Hardy on the wing? I think that could be it. Hardy could be the man. I want to believe. It's in the script. Atakovic, meanwhile. I mean, there's a highlight here. It's punched away. Blanko Zivkovic. Is this a pointless highlight? Or is there actually a reason to be excited here? Atakovic, back to goal, dispossessed. Owusu. There is nothing happened. But something's happening now, though, ladies and gentlemen. Don't take your seats. It could be them scoring. Salcedo bringing it forward. They are hitting us on the counter, Lazio. They are marauding on forward. And that finish at the end of it was tame at best. It hits the side netting. We need a goal. We need a goal if we want to make the Champions League knockouts. Is Hardy going to do something magical? He tries to pick out of Atakovic. Again, they're looking to hit us on the counter. All of these highlights seem to start with us in their half. And they clear it away. But on this occasion, we've got the ball back. Atakovic, Hardy, Mark whips it back post. Avramides is there, and Alessio Avramides might have just pulled a rabbit out the hat. Oh my word. It's the 88th minute. He's finally scoring. I mean, let's not get too... He's scored 3 goals in 2 games, Jack. Maybe this is the start of a new chapter. Finds himself floating inside, sticks it away, and now we defend. Now we're just gonna time waste as best we can. You guys can all go on support. You know what? Atakovic, just drop deeper. Waste time. Just kill off this game now. 4 minutes of added time. Surely that's that. Oh my word. What a dramatic way to steal away a spot in the Champions League knockouts. And well, we managed to do it last year far more convincingly than this year. The big headline here is we're not going to take a step backwards. We're not going to get further than we've ever got before in the competition and the following year not live up to that. And, I mean, it was not convincing, was it? I mean, the tactical tweaks, they're still ongoing, I feel like, but they've worked today. We're in the knockouts. And as odd as it feels, we should be quite happy about that, I think. So that was a massive, massive result for us. You can see here, we've got 2 games left of the La Liga season before the break. We're going to play the games against Celta and Numancia off camera. I'm going to come back on the 1st of January. We have got the Super Copper. We'll cover that next time out. But we'll have a little look at the squad, review how things are going so far. I think there's certain players we might talk about replacing. And who knows, maybe I'll come back bearing good news about a £40 million transfer budget. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, folks, so here we are. We've gone forward to January the 1st. We've actually played a couple of games since you were last here. We took on Celta Vigo. We lost 2-0. Yeah, not the ideal way to kind of end the pre-Christmas run of fixtures. I was hoping we could string together a couple of wins. It didn't happen. I'll be honest, not entirely sure how we didn't win this game. We were the better team. The only silver lining is our feeder club, Numancia. We beat them. We beat them 4-2, a team struggling down at the bottom of the table. They still managed to score 2 goals from 2 shots on target, so a bit of a warning. But we created a lot. We look very good going forward. As you can see here, Mejica grabbing 2, and Avramides getting 1. Shall we talk about Avramides? There's a green bid icon next to his name. Things have got serious. And well, as you can see here, Avramides has got some interest in him this January. Today's kind of wrap-up was going to be me talking about my plans for the transfer window. One of the ideas I was going to discuss was possibly moving on Avramides. I say that somewhat cautiously, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to sign a better player. There's a whole host of teams interested in him. He has a release clause of 72 million. Obviously, Shanghai have come in here with a non-negotiable £40 million bid. It might be a bit of a risk, but I think I can hold out for a little bit more money. I'd be very interested to know how much you would be selling Avramides for, considering he is only 20. He is considered still a wonder kid. He's a consistent performer. He's got potential. He's on a deal for the next 2.5 years. What would be a reasonable amount of money to take? If it was 40 million up front, I probably would take the bid of Shanghai, but with it being staggered over a little while, I'm slightly less keen on it. in terms of the actual finances right now at the club, we've got 61 million in the bank, as well as a transfer budget of just 8 million. There's money to spend. There should be more money, in my opinion, to spend. Currently, the percentage of transfer revenue made available is only 80%. That might change when the transfer window officially opens on the 4th of January. I have no idea why it doesn't open on the 1st. In England, the transfer window opens on the 1st. I'm pretty sure in Italy it opens on the 1st. Spain just wants to be different. But anyway, we are officially at the halfway point in the season. It's worth looking at where we sit. And right now we sit, I want to say handsomely in 4th, although that might be a tiny bit generous. In a bizarre way, ever since I started tinkering with things more, we've become more inconsistent because of a lack of tactical familiarity. There's part of me that's wondering, am I just panicking unnecessarily? I suppose the big thing of note here is we've only conceded 15 goals. We've been superb defensively. The big issue for us really has been the goals haven't exactly flown for us. I mean, you can see here we've drawn 5 games. 3 of those have been 0-0s at home. I feel like at home, even if we're going to get beaten by the likes of Real Madrid, I want to get goals. And after a really good start where we were sat not too far behind Real Madrid, I mean, you can see here we are only 3 points ahead of Valencia all of a sudden. And that defeat that we had against them last episode that I was annoyed about, but I didn't really view as the end of the world. Now it kind of does feel like the end of the world because Levante and Valencia are both kind of getting to winning ways. They're kind of closing the gap on us, and I don't know, at the halfway point, we're in a good spot. The board expectation for this year remains to qualify for the Europa League, which is a top 6 finish. Season preview is 8th. There's part of me sat thinking if we get 4th, it'd be a really monumental achievement. I feel like over the last couple of years, we've seen it with both Atletico and Barcelona. They've kind of been disappointing. 2 teams kind of transitioning, it feels like. They have been stronger this year. I mean, you can tell that just by the fact the gap between them and Real Madrid is closer than it was last year, if we look, where, frankly, they ran away with it and we were kind of just the beneficiaries in second. We got 81 points across 38 games. At the halfway point in the season, we're on 38 points. So if you double that, we're currently on course for a 76-point season. Kind of puts into perspective how good we were last year, but also how much these other teams underperformed, kind of slipped up a lot. I think for me personally, top 4 has to be the aim at this moment in time. Of course, today we've secured the Champions League knockout stages. The draw has happened for that. And we got PSG. I know. It's just not fair, is it? The world is not fair. They've got Mbappe. He's quite good, isn't he? They've got Mbappe, they've got Havertz, Asensio, Dennis Mann at right back. I mean, they've got Ward-Prowse at right back. I mean, what do you even say about that? I don't know what to say about that. They've made Ward-Prowse a right back. Basically, the long and short of it is, maybe don't expect a super long Champions League run this coming season. I know I talked about the Super Coppa and possibly doing that as its own episode yesterday. I don't think I'm going to do that, simply because the Super Coppa, it's not a particularly exciting competition in Spain. It's not a super high-profile one. The board don't care about it. If we could cause a little bit of an upset, great. Don't get me wrong, I want silverware. I just don't think it's worth doing an episode so soon after this one in order to cover. What I do want to cover just before we go is kind of the squad at the halfway point. Obviously, Mojica has done really, really well. Siapina is going to be coming back from his loan at Porto. I'm going to recall him because Avramides has now taken up Spanish nationality. You can see here we're only using 2 of our non-EU player spots. There was a temptation to recall Corridor, if I'm being honest, because he has had a really, really successful first kind of half a season at Real Madrid. But with that in mind and the fact they're actually giving him way more first-team football than I expected, it just kind of feels like it makes sense to leave him there. I think Siapina, on the other hand, can really offer us something. We're lacking goals. We signed a striker for 8 million through, I was going to say no fault of my own, through the errors of paperwork and my own misjudgment on the efficiency of Spain. We've not been able to register him, but he's done really well. He's got 12 goals in 16 playing for Porto. Those are some pretty fine numbers. I'm hoping that that's going to transition to the kind of return that, Mojica's, I suppose, given us over many years. You can see here, Siapina is a big upgrade on Mojica. I know a lot of you have been very vocal in the comment section saying the sentimentals have to end. Imagine how good you'd be, Jack, if you didn't have Mojica up front. Imagine having a proper goal scorer. Imagine no more, folks. I think Siapina is going to be coming back. Now, I've talked about the possibility of selling on Avramides. I look across the rest of the team. There are players that I do kind of view as touchable, shall we say, if the right offer came in. It might sound a little bit blasphemous, but Velez is a player who I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to selling. He's performed really well for us, which plays in the back of my mind. But at 20 years old, I am concerned that he's not got that much more room to grow. Over 2 years at the club, he's improved a little bit, but in recent times, we've not seen any kind of massive improvements by any means. It makes me wonder if maybe I should cash in on him whilst he's still young, whilst people still kind of rate him highly. That said, the defence has been so good this year that maybe that is an unnecessary risk. The truth be told, when you look across this team, it does feel like Avramidis is kind of the player it makes sense to move on. Possibly Blanco to a lesser extent, given the fact he's got a high value, he's on a high wage, and of course he's Spanish. Because he only just signed a new deal, I don't think he's going to be an option to sell. I just fear that if I sell Avramidis, I'm going to live to regret it. That's kind of the issue. There isn't a whole lot of players with super high values that I could possibly flog on. Avramidis obviously has the benefit of the fact that he's part Argentinian. He's played for the national team, so that, means his reputation is that little bit higher. I mean, the current squad size is a 25-man squad. Obviously, you've seen over the course of the last few episodes the issues we've had when it comes to rotating. It's really, really brutal on the squad this kind of, season that we're having right now. Overall, I'm kind of happy with the depth. Of course, it's worth acknowledging the fact that on the outs, Thiago Araújo has now left us to go to Wolfsburg. He left for 9.5 million. That is money that we obviously now do have to reinvest. Looking into this transfer window, I don't necessarily know if there's a really obvious place to go out and sign a new player in. I feel like Siapina, in a weird way, is going to be the new transfer of this window. Possibly at centre attacking mid, maybe at right mid. I'm cautious about bringing in players in the wide areas because I love Jonathan Martinez and I think he's got room to grow. And equally, Calderon has looked really, really solid. He is continuing to develop well. I want to give him game time out on the left-hand side. But maybe I need to forgo, I suppose, a sense of attachment to some players, a bit like Mexica with Siapina, and maybe I need to look to strengthen in the wide areas. Hardy has been our backup wide player this year. He's made 4 starts, 7 appearances off the bench. That could very easily become kind of Calderon's role within the squad when we look to strengthen the first team. I suppose the next question is, can we realistically strengthen our team with a new signing on a budget of 8 million? And I question whether or not that's possible. It's one of the reasons we've leaned on such young players. Equally, if I'm going to end up leaning on a younger player, a cheaper player, am I going to lose the little bit of experience that I already have in this team? Because it's a young squad. There are a few players that I think are important to how we play. I do kind of feel like it's important to recognise that. And one final dilemma I've got to make my mind upon is, am I going to sell Macedo? Because there is a little bit of interest in him. He has accepted a drop in his squad role to club goalkeeper. I kind of just want to keep him around as a backup, but if the right offer came in, maybe it would be worth setting him free. Yeah. How much would you sell Macedo for? Let me know that too. I'm far too sentimental. That's what I'm learning here. I'm too sentimental. I do feel like with this asymmetric 4-2-3-1, I've got something that I want to try and make work. That's going to be the mission, I suppose, over the next month or so before we return next time out for a triple header. Yeah, that's right. Saving that to the end, that bombshell. Real Madrid, PSG, Barcelona. We're probably going to lose all 3, but it doesn't get much bigger than that, does it? Anyway, with that little hint to the future, we're going to leave things here for today. We'll let you know next time out if Avramidis departs. It's going to be a big, big episode tomorrow. I hope you're looking forward to it. If you are, do drop a like on this video. It lets me know that you're enjoying the series. And well, until then, thank you for watching. It is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.